You're listening to Life Inspirations. You want to lead? And I want to say this right at the start, that character is everything. If you want to influence people, if you want to lead people, if you want to have an impact on people's lives around you during your lifetime, then the foundation of that is character, not charisma. And it's not even skill. John Wooden said this: be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. And so if you're a manager, a CEO, a supervisor, a boss of some sort, looking after other people, leading other people, then if your character is bad, or if there are cracks there, major cracks in your character, you will be found out in leadership. It's the ultimate test. You see, leaders come in all different shapes, personalities, and temperament. But what great leaders have in common is character. Image and reputation is what others think you are, as we said in that quote. But character is what you really are. It's what you are when nobody's watching, when you're by yourself, when you're in the dark. It is the basis for credibility, and without credibility, you can't lead anyone. It even comes back to your thought life. So be careful what you think, because your thoughts become your words, and your words become your actions, and your actions become your character. And as I said, your character is everything. And according to Jesus, the way to become great, to become a great leader for that matter, is to be the servant of all. In Matthew chapter 20, verse 26 to 28, it says this: it's not going to be that way with you. And he had been talking about godless rulers throwing their weight around. Whoever wants to be great must become a servant. Whoever wants to be first among you must be your servant. This is what the Son of Man has done. He has come to serve, not to be served, and then to give away his life in exchange for the many who are held hostage. And so the crux of the matter here with character is to become humble. And when you serve and practice humility, you lead people for their advantage, not for your own. And that's the difference, according to John Maxwell, between manipulating people and motivating. Of course, you still have to lead and make decisions, etc. But your whole attitude, your whole demeanor, your stance is one of serving your people, loving them, and motivating them for their benefit. The problem here is that many people who are in leadership consider humility and servanthood as weakness, so they won't go there. But the opposite is true. It's actually a strength to be a servant. It's a strength to motivate people for their benefit. It's greatness when you genuinely care for their welfare. Most people imagine titles or authority and influence, but real leadership starts long before any promotion. It begins with how you show up, how you handle pressure, how you help the people around you grow. And we see in the world today a desperate need for great leaders, for quality leaders. There's a shortage of men and women with character who can lead in business, who can lead in non-profit organizations, churches, and lead in politics and government. The Bible says a nation will be strong and endure when it has intelligent, sensible leaders. That's Proverbs 28:2. And I want to talk in this podcast about what it takes to be able to lead people effectively. And get this, to some degree, we are all leaders. And that spreads through all sectors of society. Whether you're a parent, for example, or an older child of other children, or a sports person, or a worker, or a barista, or a hairdresser, whatever field you're in life, you will find yourself leading officially or unofficially. And I have been in leadership for many years and observed many other leaders. And there's a number of things that I want to bring out that are to do with this great need that the world has. And I've heard many people say, well, I'm not a leader. I'm not a natural leader. Get this. Leadership can be learned. It can only be learned from someone who is already a leader, to be honest. Leaders reproduce other leaders. And if you want to sharpen your leadership skills, get up close to someone who is modeling what you want to learn. And in Proverbs 11 verse 14, it says this in the Message: without good direction, people lose their way. The more wise counsel you follow, the better your chances. And when you look at people who follow people, what they're looking for is not just a good leader, but they're looking for hope. They're wanting vision from that person of some sort. Where are we going? What's going to happen tomorrow? And the Bible says, without a vision, the people perish. You see, nothing happens until someone provides leadership. And let's face it, most problems in any organization or business can be traced back to a lack of competent leadership at some level. And if you look at great leaders, you find that they mapped out the future. For example, President Kennedy said, put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. Otherwise, there was no NASA space program. McDonald's was a single restaurant until Ray Kroc assumed leadership. Slavery was a huge thing centuries ago until Wilberforce led the way. Even Mother Teresa, who herself would probably say she's not a leader, led the way in looking after the poor and became an example for all of us. So whatever way you look at it, leadership is influence. For good or bad, positively or negatively, you are assuming leadership. Whether on the playground at school or with a group of teenagers hanging out or in a corporate committee meeting, it's easy to pick out the leader. Find the person who is influencing everyone else. Often, that person isn't the official or elected leader. Just because you have a title doesn't make you a leader. And this is why parents can at times be a bit titchy with their children or young people having something to do with people whose morals and character are rotten. 1 Corinthians 15:33, stop fooling yourselves, it says. Evil companions will corrupt good morals and character. There's another great test of leadership, which is this. Look around you, look behind you, look over your shoulder. Is anyone following? If no one is following you, then guess what? There's an old Proverbs that says, he that thinketh he leadeth, and hath no one following him, is only taking a walk. If you have to tell people you are their leader, you are not. Being a boss and being a leader are two different issues. And here's what John Maxwell says about that. People do what people see. They forget what we say, or they forget, in my case, our sermons, but they follow our footsteps. Incredible. Albert Schweitzer once said, example isn't the main thing, it's the only thing. You see, people will do what people see. 89% of everything you and I know is because we saw it visually first. 10% is because we heard it, and 1% is because of other senses within our body. And people become like their leader. I've seen it over the years. We teach what we know, but we reproduce what we are. And because of that, people buy into the leader before they buy into the leader's vision. And here's another one. The moment you stop learning, you stop leading. A leader really does have to continue to grow and learn. Keep on learning. So good leaders are always on the lookout for ways to improve what they do. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says this, if the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. You see, if you grow as a leader, it will determine your people's growth. You become the ceiling that people stop at. So if you keep on raising the bar in your own life, it will also do the same with people you're leading. And your happiest moments can be when you both are growing. And when you look at marriage, for example, people within the relationship can grow and even change. And sometimes a person has to get used to a different person than they first married. And here's my final point in this podcast. It's wonderful when the people believe in the leader, but it's more wonderful when the leader believes in the people. Value the people you are leading very highly. Someone said put a 10 on their head, meaning that you believe in them. It's a wee bit like our walk with Jesus. We come into a place when we would say that we believe in Jesus. But do you realize that Jesus believes in you? God bless you richly today.